Hola! Hello, it's Roxy the Realtor calling you from COVID-19 headquarters, RTR location, my kitchen. Hi, I've got some really good information for you guys because, and thank you, Amy Jenkins, who made my mask. I appreciate you. I'm getting a lot of questions about the real estate market. After all, a home is one of your biggest investments. I don't really know a lot of people who've bought anything more expensive than your house. So we've got a lot into our houses. So I just put together some information about national stats, things that are going on in the marketplace nationally. This is not Minnesota specific, this is nationally, because when the housing bubble hit, it was nationally, not just indicative to the state of Minnesota. So a lot of people want this information because it was a hard time to get through that. Many of us are suffering from PTSD from the crash. It affected us. It affected our credit for many years. It affected the ability to get a rental, the ability to get another home mortgage. A lot went into that. So for good reason, people have a lot of concerns right now with what's going on. I have 5 factors differentiating what the housing crash that we went through and what I see that's going on now. So just keep that top of mind. There are just very big differences, okay? So here we go. Number 1, mortgage standards are not what they were leading up to the crash. Take a peek at the chart. In 2008, to get a mortgage, you didn't even have to verify your income or your assets. We had loan programs out called like NINA, no income, no asset verification. Can you believe that? Going in and getting a mortgage and you didn't even have to have supporting documents for the loan. That's how easy it was to get it into a home. You had zero money down, like zip, no money down, nothing. So it was very easy to get into a house. And so I think a lot of the times what happened is a lot of people who didn't have the fortitude to keep up with the mortgage and yard work and home maintenance, it just didn't work out very well, did it? So now, of course, the mortgage affordability index is much lower. Another thing that we hear a lot today, because the mortgage affordability index is lower, they are also scrutinizing these documents. They are verified and verified and verified. When people are closing on a house right now, a lot of times I hear this, I didn't have to do that the last time I bought a mortgage or the last time I got a mortgage. Well, of course you didn't. Things have changed a lot. And so they're verifying things even up to 3 days before closing. They're verifying that you're still employed. They're pulling checking statements, making sure that your income is going in there and nothing out of the ordinary has taken place. So that's really scrutinized right now, which has helped. It's made it a little more cumbersome to get through the process, but it's been good for the economy and for the nation. Number 2, take a look at the charts. Annual home appreciation nationally. As a country, we're nowhere near the rise that preceded the crash. So what happens when prices go crazy high all of a sudden is that, of course, we're pricing out our buyers. And number 2, buyers are also scared to get into a home when they see a home for maybe $150 that now is $225 and then it jumps up to $235. They're just scared. It just doesn't make sense and they're not going to go through with it. So that really has a big impact on the market too. Number 3, shortage of homes. This is key for me, I think. In 2008, there were so many homes for sale. The market was absolutely flooded. You could drive down any street and almost every other home was for sale on the market, which caused our prices to go down really quickly. In 2007, we saw nationally an 8.2 month supply of inventory in cities. Today we're at 3.1 nationally, and here in the Twin Cities, we're at 2.1. That's very low. If the COVID crisis would not have happened, 2020 was a really strong real estate year. We had more homes on the market than 2019, which was starting to balance it out, which was a very good thing. So what's going to happen after that, with so many homes not being on the market right now, I think that's going to safeguard us against a crash. Number 4, 14 years ago, houses were just too expensive to buy. There were 3 things that tie into our affordability index, and that means 3 things that make it okay or for a buyer to feel comfortable to buy a home, to qualify for a home, or even to want to get into a home. Those 3 things are, number 1, the home prices. We talked about that before when they go crazy high. And number 2 is the wages by the purchaser, and then the interest rates. You saw by the chart in 2007, you see the escalation in appreciation. So that was going crazy high. Wages were low and the interest rates were over 6. If you got anywhere near 6, you were lucky. Typically they're at like 6.6 most people were at for their interest rate during that time. Well, now prices are still up, but wages are higher. So now, especially if you have a 2-income home and you have higher wages, that makes it more affordable. And number 3, the biggie, is the interest rates are lower. They're almost half of what they were. So today's prices are still high, but the average wage has gone up. And more importantly, the interest rates have gone really low. And number 5, people are equity rich. We are not tapped out. Prior to the housing market, people were using their homes as an ATM machine. Many people were just refinancing over and over again. As you could see by the appreciation charts, you could. It was a really great way to buy boats and mobile homes and second homes and vacation homes, or get into rental properties. So there was a lot of money being pulled out of your house. So what happens when prices started to decline, they weren't able to sell to recoup that cost. The good news is today, homeowners are not tapped out of their equity. On the screen, you'll see the refis in 2005, 6, and 7 compared to 17, 18, and 19. It's $500 billion less. So in these last years, the refinance money, even though many people are refinancing, they are nowhere near what they were refinancing during the crash, okay? So that's just a lot of information, and it tells me that I think we're gonna be okay. I know we're on shutdown till like May 4th. If that is lifted at that time, we're still in the spring market. And right now, homes are selling very rapidly here in the Twin Cities. Buyers, there's been some changes to the lending programs with they're raising the credit score. So if you have gotten pre-approved, you got to call and get pre-approved because of the changes that have taken place. It's probably a good thing too. Again, it's that all those things that have changed. This is a good thing that we really want solid buyers to come into these properties, and so that they can sustain them, so that we don't have a crash. That is the information that I have for you nationally. If you have any questions at all on where you're sitting with your home, give me a shout. I'd love to share some information with you and to show you your equity position.